it is Whitney K. Welcome back to another video. If you are here to streamline, optimize, and scale your business, you're in the right spot. Go ahead and tap the subscribe button and then the bell to always so you never miss an update or a video from me. And if you are new here and just did that, go ahead and comment #new in the comments below this video so I can welcome you to the community. Let's go ahead and dive right in. What types of hashtags do you use? Are there banned hashtags? Are there not banned hashtags? Let's calm down. Okay? Let's just pump the brakes a little bit. And we're all going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and realize that no matter what it is that you're doing, there's no right way and there's no wrong way. Could there be a better way? Absolutely. But that is where I'm not going to tell you what that way is. You're going to try and test different methods that you hear from me and that you hear from other people, and you're going to put them into use and you're going to see what works best for you, because your audience is not my audience and my audience is not your audience. We are cultivating an audience based on our own activity and our own interests and our own doings, that our results are going to differ from other people's results, and that is okay. So let's talk about each individual platform and what they recommend as far as hashtags, because as I was doing this research, there were multiple blogs that I was reading that in the beginning part of the blog, they would say Instagram has come out and said this. And then you go through the blog and you're reading the rest of it. If anybody, gives blogs that amount of time, I did. I would read through the rest of it. And then later on, they would contradict their original statement on what the platform says and say, we've seen through our testing that this is what works. So it's like, then you get in your head, well, do I use what you're saying? Because you're telling me that Instagram's telling me one thing, but then you're telling me that your study tells me another thing. So like, who do I really take as credible? Because shouldn't I trust the platform or should I trust you? And then at the end of the day, you're sitting there really flipping confused. And it's just like, why did I even start reading and researching this in the first place? Because I'm no better off than what I came in. Like, that's literally how I felt when I was reading some of this stuff. So I just need you to know that what I am going to tell you is based on what the platforms recommend themselves. So Instagram themselves recommends anywhere from 3 to 5 hashtags. Now, Whitney, why would we use only 3 to 5 hashtags when the platform allows us to use up to 30? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. There are studies, blogs out there that say that you get better reach and exposure by using anywhere from 8 to 13. But the platform, Adam came out and said that 3 to 5 hashtags is the sweet spot. Weird. Like, I don't know what to do with that, but okay, I'm going to stick with the 3 to 5 because I'm going to go with what the platform recommends, because I want to grow on the platform, not by the voice of other people, right? So I'm going to stick with what the platform says. Facebook recommends 2 to 5 hashtags. LinkedIn recommends 3 to 5. TikTok recommends 4 to 5. And YouTube recommends 3 to 5. So fewer hashtags, what I'm gathering here, equals more reliable self-categorization. But here's the problem, and I'm sure you've seen this a million times. People will write posts, they'll create content. For example, Valentine's Day is coming up. I could sit here and talk about some type of business strategy, but use the hashtag Valentine's Day that doesn't even apply to the content that I'm actually writing. But the only reason I'm using the hashtag is because I'm thinking that it's relevant, it's trending, it's topical, it's seasonal, it's going to hit, I'm going to get more views, I'm going to get more exposure, and I'm going to get more reach. When ultimately, that is not how we should be using hashtags at all. We need to be using categorical hashtags that are relevant to our content and hashtags that are relevant to our audience. So relevancy is key. Different hashtags are also very, very important. And I love streaming my hashtags across 5 different categories. So location-based hashtags. Do not use hashtags if you're in a coffee shop here in Florida and hashtag coffee shops out in LA, because that's where you just want to be right now. Like, it's all great that you fantasize about being somewhere else, but use hashtags where you actually currently are. Branded hashtags. I love coming up with brand brand specific hashtags, especially when I'm working with a new client. If they don't personally have their own hashtags yet or have created hashtags that are branded to their brand, then that is definitely something that we work on for them. And so I encourage you, if you haven't thought about branded hashtags for yourself and your brand, to start considering that and using that in a lot of your content. This is another thing too, is when you can get your clients and your customers to use your hashtags or your users on social media, it helps boost and grow that hashtag. And that's why a lot of, companies that if they're doing events or campaigns, they'll use campaign specific hashtags around that entire event or around that entire campaign. The third thing is industry specific. So if you're using hashtags that are relevant to your industry, okay, now you can flip that a little bit. If you are targeting a specific industry, this is where it gets into audience specific. If you're targeting a specific industry or speaking about a specific industry in relation to the content that you're posting, it is absolutely okay to use industry related hashtags to that specific industry. All right. The fourth thing is community. So this is your audience. I want you to think about who is my audience? What are their interests? What are they doing? Who are they specifically? And use hashtags that are relevant to your audience. And then the fifth thing is descriptive. So hashtags that could describe your scenery. I could use a hashtag Samsung Q9U mic, and I might put that in my content if I wanted to, because I am using a Samsung Q9U mic. You can use more generalized hashtags like hashtag podcast, but you have to consider how many other people are using that hashtag. So then the question of use and volume comes into play. When you start typing out a hashtag on Pinterest, on pretty much Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere, you will start to see a number associated with that hashtag. And that number is the volume. How many posts are being made or have been made with this specific hashtag? I'm going to say something that's not going to make a lot of people happy. And that's the fact that you're going to have a different hashtag strategy on different platforms. Now, this is why I want to encourage you who sat back and was like, oh, really? If you're thinking that, then you're probably on so many platforms and you're already spreading yourself so thin that content creation isn't even enjoyable for you at the moment. It's actually work. And even though content creation for many of us is work, it should still be fun and enjoyable. I was where you were. I was overwhelmed and tired and overproducing content and underproducing it at the same time because I was exhausted from creating it or generating any ideas, that I had to take a step back. And this might be where you are. Think about a platform or two that you can go all in on, that you can give it your all. You can be the best that you can be. You've done the research. You've studied the algorithm. You have studied, other creators on the platform, how they do it, how they don't do it, and where you fit in that kind of scene, right? Because if we can do something well, then we can do it great. But if we're trying to do a lot of things well, we're going to barely be doing them good. Hashtags are meant to categorize your content, where keywords are intended to optimize it. Hear me when I say that again. Hashtags are used to categorize your content. Keywords are meant to optimize it. So you want to make sure that you are putting both efforts into a single piece of content in order for you to get more reach, more engagement, and to be discovered more across the internet and these social media platforms.